Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 23rd edition of the BS Podcast. This week, it is a very special episode. It is a celebratory special episode. Of course, it's the 23rd episode, and my addiction with Dr. Pepper dictates that I had to do a special episode for number 23. What would I be if I did not do a special episode for number 23? But we have two special guests. First, streaming on Twitch, please introduce yourself.
Hey, my name is Evan, or EvertD, or Evert Donahue.
And please introduce yourself.
Courtney, or Meow, or whatever. I don't
know. The many Brandons.
Yes.
The sarcastic cat lady who's not crazy. Not yet.
Don't forget the sass queen.
I feel we're all a little crazy deep down inside.
That is true.
So, there's no escape.
Hey, I am not crazy at all. I am 100% perfectly sane.
That's exactly what a crazy person would say.
I am offended. So the first topic I have for this week is... we're going to start with gaming, because PlayStation's next generation console is coming, and they're making a lot of updates with the PS5. They're going to get a new CPU, GPU, and we're going to work on the storage a little bit. And pretty much, we have an AMD chip at the heart of the device, because we all know what an AMD chip is, obviously. We're all very sophisticated computer people.
Absolutely.
So fancy.
I am still Team Intel, though. So, sorry, AMD.
What makes Intel better than AMD to you?
Oh, they got, they have a, thank you for the follow, corn dog. And I know that's you. But, I like Intel better. I was raised on Intel. I will die on Intel. I like it because they have hyper-threading. And it just allows for a better gameplay experience.
So
makes sense.
With my opinion on it, I as long as it makes a computer run, that's all I care about, to be honest. I'm not very picky.
You obviously haven't played on an Intel PC. That's your issue.
No,
I'm kidding.
Rude.
But truthful. Sometimes the truth hurts, and it's okay. I forgive you.
Okay.
So, the CPU is based on the third generation of AMD's Ryzen line and contains 8 cores of the company's new 7nm Zen 2 mini architecture. The GPU, a custom variant of Radeon's Navi family. I don't know if that's supposed to be a Legend of Zelda reference in the name or what, but the Navi family will support ray tracing, a technique that models the travel of light to simulate complex interactions in 3D environments. While ray tracing is a staple of Hollywood visual effects and is beginning to worm its way into high-end processors in NVIDIA's recently announced RTX line, no game console has been able to manage it. Yet, we're beginning to go this way because it's going to have a more reflective, more realistic, accurate, and real-time kind of feel to it. And with the audio for the PS5, they're going to work on just making it... With the PS4 from the PS3, there wasn't that big of a difference in the audio. So they wanted to get something bigger. That way the audio was more immersive, which for me, I appreciate something that's more immersive. I want to be inside the game.
I can agree with not really seeing a huge spike. I feel like they released the PS4 just a little too early. And, again, I'm going to complain about the components because they're using Radeon and not NVIDIA. PlayStation, what are you doing? Come on, you're killing me here. You're not going to sell me if you're not using a NVIDIA.
Yeah, those points are fair.
But I get it.
And so pretty much what they were doing with the PS5 is they did some testing with the Spider-Man game that came out last year, which I haven't played yet, but it was supposed to be a really good game. And they showed off how, with the PS4, you can only go up to a certain speed, and then things may not be 100% peak graphically. But on the PS5, according to what they said, massive improvement. You can go much faster, everything looks smooth, everything looks perfect graphically compared to how it looked on the PS4. So we will see if the PS5 becomes a big jump or not. For me, I'm not looking forward to a PS5. We're not going to get it this year, but I have a feeling we're probably going to get it next year.
See, my thing with the PS4, though, I mean, it doesn't look bad. I mean, I think it looks great.
Yeah, they made it like nice and slick, but the number one thing I think they should imply into the PS5 is we really need backwards compatibility. They only make some games backwards compatible, and that's, as a game collector or a gaming enthusiast, that's just so infuriating. And that's why I don't buy a lot of the newer consoles, because they expect me to pay the same amount of money for the same exact games I already hold on an older generation console.
Well, everything I've read is that it will have PS4 backwards compatibility, which, I mean, it isn't PS1, PS2, and PS3, but if that holds true and they don't remove it, or it isn't what it sounds like it is right now, at least that'll be a step.
Sure, I mean, I get that it'd be a step, but I don't know, it's just very frustrating, because, like you were saying, you have all of these games, it's like, why do I have to keep buying so many more new ones when I have all these old ones as well?
It's just a money grabber. I mean, I get it, like, looking at it from a business standpoint. Everybody likes and wants money, but if you want your customers to be completely satisfied, just give those little small details that it's all we request, if I can find the word in there.
Words are hard.
And also, it's just convenience, too. I mean, who wants to drag out 3 different consoles when you could just have one?
Absolutely, and I feel...
That's kind of the beauty of PC.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. See? PC gang all the way. What's
That's
up,
right.
boys? Although, I know it's just a weird jump, the Nintendo Switch was phenomenal.
I love the Nintendo Switch so much. It is literally, in my opinion, probably the greatest console.
Not sponsored by Nintendo Switch.
Not sponsored by Nintendo, but I mean, they want to sponsor me. Hit me up. Let's Go Eevee was so much fun.
I have not...
See, for me, like, I just have this mental block with Nintendo. Like, they were so anti-creator on YouTube for the longest time that even though right now they're being a lot better about it, just because you're suddenly better now doesn't mean you suddenly balanced out the emotional bank account.
Sure, but I mean, I'm not going to hold the console against this, because the console itself is so much fun. Like, it's one of those things where you never imagine that you can just pick up the console and take it with you and play it anywhere, as well as just be able to play on the TV at the same time. It's pretty crazy.
Very fair, very fair.
You know, I feel like they should just all work together to making the ultimate console instead of this giant war that we're in. Because I would pay money for something called a PS Wii 60.
Oh my god.
Doesn't that just flow off the tongue? I
love it.
See? And also, if anybody out there who works for these companies, you know, make sure to mention your boy, because we could do the same thing with social media, but something about like YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook combining to make you Twitch or you twit face doesn't sound appealing either, but the idea could work.
I don't think that will go very well. Just imagine a little old grandma going typing in "you twit face."
That would be scary to see what happens at that point.
Oh goodness.
What a leap. We went from the PS5 to combining all the consoles together.
I mean, this is how a podcast works, right?
Oh my...
Absolutely.
Okay, I will jump back. I do have one more remark for the PlayStation thing. I would consider buying it if they come out with a new Spyro game.
Ooh.
I agree 100%.
I don't care. Oh, sorry, continue.
I would say I don't know if I agree with that actually.
You what?
I don't, because every Spiral game that they made past like the first trilogy was trash.
I mean, like, I can agree with that, but now, I mean, like, they can just take their time with it, slow it down a little bit.
I
get
just
that
don't
taste
trust
of
them.
nostalgia. Well, that's
Like-
why you watch people play it before you invest.
What to say? Yeah, you know, like the remake was great, and you know, it's basically the same classic games, but you know, just all fancy and upgraded. It's like what you imagine as a kid, but you're an adult, which is nice. Because you know, you look back at the original Spyro games; those games do not look good.
But there was always a special place in my heart for Spyro.
Oh yeah, of course. No, nostalgia all the way. But I'm just saying that I think the nostalgia would blind you a little bit with a new Spyro game, because I feel like it just wouldn't be as good.
Would you say the same thing about the new Crash Bandicoot games that came out, though?
Yeah, I would say that too.
Oof. Oof. I haven't played them, but I've seen gameplay, and I think they did it nicely, in my opinion.
Oh no, I'm not saying that remakes aren't bad. I'm saying that I wouldn't want a new Crash game. Because I feel like it wouldn't be as good.
I understand that. I respect that.
Court says she wants all the franchises to die. No more sequels. You have your few games and stop. That's gonna be the way we go.
That's
you
right.
Have a few games you can do, and then you're done.
It's not even that. It's more like, oh man, you know, after they made the trilogy, it was great. I feel like anything beyond it, though, like they just could not do it.
Maybe that could hold true. So you talked about not trusting, so I feel like I'm going to use that as a segue, a very obvious and spoken segue, to go to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. You know, first I want to start this off with, I'm not going to buy the game either way, regardless of whether it's published by EA, made by Respawn. I'm not a Star Wars person. I'm not.
How do you not like Star Wars? Are you
Rude.
a Trekkie? Are you a Trekkie?
Honestly, I don't even really watch Star Trek. Like, I watch the movies, the new movies.
Oh, the
but
new movies don't count. We don't talk about those.
I like the new movies.
No, it's okay.
I mean,
it's so great.
At least they can tell a complete story in one movie and not need 3.
Oof.
Well, I mean, like, well, the reason why it's like that with Star Wars is because there's so many books, and it's just such an in-depth universe, and we get different sides of it. So I'm actually excited for the game, believe it or not.
Imagine Harry Potter, except for each movie. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, episode 1, 2, 3, Chamber of Secrets, 1, 2, 3. And then as the books got bigger, you have to add a new movie to it.
Okay, to be fair though, if Star Wars 4, 5, and 6 was combined into one, it would not be as good as a series. Like, there's no way. There's no way you could tell all the story in just one movie.
You missed so much. There was a lot of things. I mean, like, going back to the Harry Potter reference, so much in the movies I feel we missed out on compared to the books. I would have totally been okay with them doing multiple segments to a book to introduce it into a movie.
Oh, definitely. I agree with that too.
Oh man. Well,
you're the minority here.
Rogue One was a good movie. We can compromise there.
Yeah, it was.
Rogue
it was
One
a great movie.
It was good. It was good. Although there were some issues with it, I was still like entranced in it.
Yeah, I feel like
very fair. Very fair.
It was as good as it could be.
Yeah, Han Solo shouldn't have died. Gosh darn it, Harrison Ford. I feel bad.
That's my other issue with Star Wars. They can't move on from the old people from 30 years ago. Move on.
Well, see, no, because the reason I say Harrison Ford shouldn't have died, I get it, he's old. But if you read the books and the novels, and the graphic novels, he should still be alive, and he wasn't supposed to die until later. And I think
then don't take a 20-year break.
Boom roasted.
In between movies.
I mean, like, it makes sense that they waited that long, though, because now he's actually dad age compared to, like, the age that Kylo Ren was.
if you say so. So, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order game. According to Blair Brown, it's going to be a single-player story-focused game, no multiplayer,
Oof.
and no microtransactions. The one thing he didn't talk about, which I would put money that that's what they're going to do, is if there's no microtransactions, if EA doesn't force microtransactions before it actually releases, it's going to have paid DLC.
To be fair, I mean, EA does that with basically everything that they own.
Well,
I'm
I'm
not
actually...
Sorry.
No, you continue. You continue. I cut you off.
No, you're good. I was about to say, but as long as the DLC doesn't take away from the game itself, I'm all about it. Like, just like minor things that it adds to it.
I feel like I'm really surprised that they're not doing microtransactions because that's just a really good source of revenue. I know the no multiplayer is going to be like, might make people stray away from wanting to buy it because that's always been such a popular part of the Star Wars game series, is people have always loved that multiplayer. I guess it gives them more time to focus on a storyline and put a lot of attention to detail in it, and maybe we could see some like really cool cameos and hidden Easter eggs and all that stuff. As long as Jar Jar Binks does not show up, I'm completely okay.
I want to play as Jar Jar Binks. I want Jar Jar Binks to be the main character, or if not the main character, I want Jar Jar Binks to be at the very top.
Playable DLC.
Actually, did you hear that movie theory that Jar Jar Binks was the Phantom Menace?
What?
Yeah. Okay, because see, like, he does like a backflip thing that we don't see any of his, like, the rest of his species doing in the entire movie, except for Jedi, who can do that same move. The Phantom Menace means a hidden evil, right? So they're saying, what if Jar Jar Binks is actually evil? He seems to be stupid, but it's played as like just like an offset persona, if you will.
But that doesn't make sense because Jar Jar Binks is in episode 2 and 3.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't have like the notes on it entirely.
He gets cut in half by Obi-Wan. So that doesn't make sense.
Jar Jar Binks doesn't get cut in half.
No, but the Phantom Menace does.
Oh no, but they're saying that's not the real Phantom Menace. But Jar Jar Binks is actually pretending to be good where he's evil. Kind of like kind of like Palpatine situation there.
Yeah, I gotcha. That's
well, I know why we don't know for sure.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was believed that the idea stopped because he was the most hated character, and everybody just gives Jar Jar Binks a lot of crap. Nobody likes him.
No, I feel like the problem was, I'm using your logic, is there was only 30 movies. If we would have had a 30.5, we could have included Jar Jar Binks' rise to fame.
I have a dancing Jar Jar Binks. It's a Jar Jar Binks Bink.
See, what you need to do is dress as Jar Jar Binks and go to a Star Wars convention.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Most popular person there.
Absolutely. You will get crapped on like no other.
And the only other thing we know about Jedi Fallen Order right now is it will have boss battles and draws combat inspiration from Metroid and The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker.
Ooh.
I could see that being like a really, like a cool cutscene animation and a lot of really great gameplay opportunity there.
Definitely.
So do we think any of us is going to possibly get this game?
Oh, it's on PC, absolutely. I could see myself streaming it here and there.
Same, if it's on PC, 100%.
Well, at least it got a 2 out of 3.
Ooh, you don't want it?
Not at all.
Oh, no.
Ooh.
Well, he did say at the beginning that he didn't like Star Wars, so...
That's fair. I hope it's something like Knights of the Old Republic, though, because that game was amazing.
Haven't played it. I couldn't tell you.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm just a broke college kid, and I barely make enough to just get new equipment here and there.
But you could just always...
Oh, this one I would probably save up for. It's going to be a tie between getting that and a couple new Switch games that are set to launch later in the 2019 year.
Good call, good call.
I'm just saying.
I feel like for me, maybe if it's super good looking graphically and it's a RPG that has character customization. I mean, if it has character customization, you can win me over more, but if it doesn't,
Then you would like
Don't know about that.
Knights of the Old Republic.
maybe.
Yeah.
So, in a previous episode of the BS podcast, we talked about GameStop going down, starting to go down. Their sales are not as high as it would be. Of course, gaming shops are going to probably take the same route that movie shops did, and how Blockbuster only has one store left. I mean, eventually that's probably going to happen to the gaming stores if they don't shift away from video games altogether, as no disc copies and such are becoming more and more prevalent in the whole thing nowadays. They're going to need to go more toward board games or trading card games and things like that if they really want to survive and do other fancy stuff that isn't selling video games specifically. But they're launching a guaranteed to love it program. If you return the game within 48 hours of the game's launch, you get your money back in the form of trading credit. First game is Days Gone. If you hate it, bring it back with 48 hours, and you can get $59.99 in trade-in credit.
You know, I feel like they've just been going downhill for a long time, especially with people being able to just buy it from their consoles, and I'm still surprised they're up and running at this point. You just need to give people better deals on their trade-ins. If I pay $60 for a game and bring it in a couple months later, you shouldn't offer me $12 for it.
Hey, I would have offered you $5.
You know,
I should work at GameStop.
you shouldn't. No, I'm kidding. No offense to those who work at GameStop, but it's not you. I get it. It's the company itself. It's set on making money at people who want to actually get decent amounts but have nowhere else to go. I feel like things like Facebook Marketplace and eBay have made things easier over the years to sell your old games for something they're actually worth, but it's just not worth it at this point, in my opinion. I kind of just stopped going to GameStop.
When's the last time either of you have been to GameStop? Just a question.
Oh boy.
Okay, so here's the reason for my question. Is because I just went to GameStop last weekend. They have really changed their store. They are stepping back from gaming. There's still a bunch of games in there, don't get me wrong, but they're going for more of like the cute merchandise or the pop culture stuff. So I honestly don't think GameStop is going to die. I feel like it's going to turn more into like an FYE or Hot Topic type of store. Plus, they already own Funko Pops, so I really don't see them dying out that much. Or at least not as near in the future as you would think.
I mean, like, I want them to do well. I have a little bit of stock in them, and I would like to see that value. I just don't know sometimes. I'm just so... I just fear it's going to be a Blockbuster situation.
Oh, sure. I just feel like the company
Blockbuster still has one store.
They do?
Yeah, they have one store left, and I forget where it's located.
Oregon,
thank you.
We
Thank
must
you.
praise the Blockbuster.
Listen, you can go there and get a new Blockbuster account and get a card and everything. I would go there and get one and just come back and be like, look at this, guys! And, yeah.
I wonder if my old Blockbuster account still works there.
Possibly. Did you have to pay for a subscription there or anything? Or how did that work? I never owned a account from them.
No, it was just like a phone number.
Okay, gotcha. It might work then.
It was just like a rewards program or something. I don't know. It was so long ago.
well, they should have a lot of rewards for you. It's been how many years?
No, it's more like been there once, so.
But to answer your question, when was the last time I was in a GameStop? I don't know if I've ever been in a GameStop in my life.
I was at GameStop probably a couple months ago. Last year, actually. I take that back. Last year, I did pre-order Smash Ultimate, but I saw really no point in pre-ordering it other than the fact I had the money and I didn't want to spend it on anything else. I guess I like that aspect, but it's just a grab to get people to come in there because they make so many copies at this point that they really don't run out. And I could just have easily have gone to Walmart or Target or Best Buy and gotten a copy from them as well, or bought it from the Switch store.
That's fair.
So, as the smoke clears on the events that unfolded on Monday at the Notre Dame de Paris, we stand in solidarity with our fellow and everyone around the world moved by the devastation the fire caused. Notre Dame is an integral part of Paris, a city to which we are deeply connected. Seeing the monument in peril like this affected us all. In light of Monday's events, Ubisoft will be donating 500,000 in whatever currency that is, whatever France uses. I can't say I know.
I'm pretty
head.
sure it's the euro, right?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure.
Maybe.
I think
to help with the restoration and reconstruction. We encourage all of you who are interested to donate as well. In addition, they are given the chance to experience the Notre Dame and Assassin's Creed Unity as they give it away for free on PC for anyone who wants to enjoy it for a small time.
There we go. That's exactly what I like to hear. Anything free on PC is definitely for me. I don't even have to own the game. I will download it immediately.
See,
all you need is a Ubisoft account.
I have one. I have a Ubisoft account. Somewhere.
Okay, so I have an opposite opinion here with that. I'm not against the free game. I don't care about it personally, but I just think that kind of publicity is so scummy. They're like, "Oh, hey, we're doing this nice thing. You should do it too." By the way, free game.
I mean, like it's a little bit of an incentive. I really wish that they. I kind of like. I see both sides of it. Those types of things, they always say it's not a marketing gimmick, but it usually has some line of being a marketing gimmick because it draws people in and gives them attention. And it's like, oh, I'm doing this really great thing. Let's post about it online because everything is so centralized about being online because you want an online reputation.
Sure, I'm not against them like publicizing it. I'm against them being like, oh yeah, and you should just get this game too while you're at it. I don't know, I just feel like ugh.
I have a question for both of you.
Throw it at us.
So, I've heard both of your opinions on this. Are you allowed to both do a good thing and benefit from it?
I mean, like, okay, so when you do good things, people generally feel good about themselves. And I like to say that's a little bit of a reward in itself because it gives you like a little bit of a dopamine rush, which is the brain's feel-good chemical. You shouldn't. I try to go into situations not expecting anything because we generally like to help one another. I like to think there's a bit of goodness in all people. But I don't think you should do it going in thinking, I deserve something after this act.
That's a good way to go about it. I have to agree with that. You shouldn't go into it expecting anything out of it. I do think, though, that... I'm trying to think how to word this. I'm terrible at wording things like this.
Incoming controversy?
No, not at all. I'm just trying to think how to word this. I apologize. I'm just thinking... I would say going into it and expecting a benefit out of it should be frowned upon. But that's really the only way I could really word that, sorry.
You know, for me, it doesn't really bother me one way or the other with Ubisoft doing this. For me, they donated a lot of money. Well, I'd assume that's a lot of money. I don't know how much it is in American dollars.
Oh, sure, for sure. I think it's great that they donated.
Oh, I completely support it. You know, I mean, France has always been a really great ally and to the United States. And I generally believe in helping people when we can. it sucks being a humanitarian sometimes because I'm always stuck in the middle of a lot of things. But I believe that it will do a lot of good, and it's great to give them any support we can, regardless of whether you're an ally or not. Kind of push past differences and realize that in the end, there's just people trying to live their lives too as civilians and not necessarily a political oppressor or an opponent.
Absolutely. Have either of you watched Survivor at all? I'm gonna assume no.
No. I have not.
I have.
Ah, yes! Have you watched a lot of it or just a few episodes?
Just a few episodes when I lived at home.
Very fair, very fair. Well, I'm a big fan of Survivor. That's why I brought this topic onto it, because the BS podcast is my podcast, so
You guys,
I bring in some things that I like.
So you gotta do you.
I will be right back, guys. You guys continue, and I'll jump back in.
Alrighty.
Alright.
So, the 40th season of Survivor has the theme of all winners. And for me, in any reality type show where you have people contesting against each other, I really like the concept of bringing in, for a season, all the previous winners, or at least enough to make a season. And so you can have about, 18-ish people for Survivor? That's around what they usually do, I think. 18 to 21, maybe.
Somewhere around there.
I should know this. I've watched for the past, 5 years, so you'd think I'd know. But I think it's going to be very interesting. I always enjoy that concept, whether it be Ink Master, Master Chef, any show like that, where you can bring back previous winners just to see how it goes. Who can win out of the winners?
Ooh. You're asking
Because see, with Survivor, it's always, you have a few returning people normally, sometimes you don't, but most of the time you do. And they're always a target because while they didn't win their season, they still have experience in the game. So you gotta be very careful about that. It's just, if someone has a competitive advantage, sometimes you may just want to get them out quicker, which seemingly happens sometimes, not as often as I would think. I think you'd want to target people that know what they're doing.
Definitely, you want to leave the weaker ones behind, so that way you can destroy them.
We're talking about world domination right now, Evan.
Oh, you should definitely read The Art of War. That's a good book.
Good to know, good to know.
Listen, if there comes a time where I need to rule as a dictator, I gotta be ready. I'm just saying, remember this face, because it's going to be plastered on every single wall one day. So
this is what we trained for.
Absolutely. You gotta know how to play mind games.
But yes, I feel like with Survivor, the best way to win is to just leave the weakest people on your team. So that way, when it goes down to like a single row here, you could just destroy those guys. Be like, nah, you guys are going down.
I feel like if all three of us were on a Survivor tribe, I would eliminate both of you at the same time. I'd find a way.
Rude.
Ouch! You wouldn't want to ally up until the final rounds, or?
I am overweight. I think you would do better at challenges than me. And I can't swim, which is pretty important in Survivor. And I don't like being outside. I don't like bugs.
So note to self, push Wes in the creek.
Oh no.
Drown Wes day one.
I mean, he's already established that he's gonna backstab us both, so I might as well be the one pushing someone to their limits first. That's Art of War 101.
No, but you've already lost the point of Survivor. You're supposed to keep the weak one alive and then at the end destroy them.
Exactly.
So you gotta leave Wes till the end. And then you can drown him.
Nope.
And hope he doesn't talk his way to victory.
That's right.
Listen, when you know when it's, I believe it is if the wind is going up. So if it's going upwind, burn them out with fire in that direction. I'm going to burn you out with fire with the wind. Smoke's going to be in your direction, not mine. I am going to be going through the flames of hell to take you down, Wes. I will not hold back.
I appreciate that you're willing to go all out. At least you're not gonna be like, oh, well, he probably isn't gonna be able to compete too well. Maybe I should go easy on him. No, I'm gonna destroy him. I'm gonna take him all the way to the ground.
Fight fire with
I appreciate
fire.
it.
You're
Pay
welcome.
respects for Wes.
I mean, like, at least you know I see you as, like, a notable opponent, though. I view you as an equal at that point. So,
Oh my god.
in a way, you should be thanking me. So,
I'll spray you in the eyes with Dr. Pepper. That's my competitive advantage.
nope, not with the fire. Turns that stuff to steam. So, however,
Hey, enough. Dr. Pepper can put out a fire, I'm convinced.
although if you boil it for long enough, you can make, like, really hot black sugar tar. Have you seen those videos?
Sugar tar.
No.
Yeah, I know.
Is it tasty?
I mean, like, probably not.
Caramelized.
I got candy in my teeth.
How professional.
Hey, listen, these
What
Werther's
a rude streamer.
Werther's originals are my weakness, as well as pistachios and almonds. I will eat on stream. I will drink on stream. I am not scared.
I drink while recording every single week.
I mean, like, I've been known to, like, down a couple brewskis on the stream. I'm not afraid of who I am. I will happily drink my malt liquor. I will happily drink my IPAs. I will do it every day, any day.
Dr. Pepper is the way to the soul.
See, I'm not a big soda drinker. I just never have. Well, I used to be. I stopped it a long time ago. I haven't had a soda for, since the beginning of 2018. When I gave up soda.
Back in the 1980s.
Hey, you know, 1 year off is pretty good.
I'm proud of it. I feel a lot better after stopping soda, and it's helped my acne a lot.
I bet a soda is awful for your acne.
Yeah, not to TMI, but it just causes a lot of breakouts on the face and stuff. And I'm like, I don't really feel like this is a win-win, so I cut it out.
TMI is welcome.
For
I
sure.
want all your personal secrets on the BS
I
podcast.
cry myself to sleep every night.
Thinking about me?
No, it's just the fact that we're born to live and we live to die.
True. Speaking of living to die, the gifted.
Speaking of living to die, I hate myself. If that's not the response that follows,
The Gifted has been cancelled after 2 seasons. The Gifted took place in the X-Men universe. So, could the Disney-Fox merger be the reason for the cancellation, or did they just not see it being good for a 3rd season?
Ooh.
Hmm.
I'm going to say it's just the merger that's the situation. Sorry, continue, Mel.
Oh no, I cut you off this time. You go.
Okay, awesome sauce. Because I will not shut up. I really love Marvel and I love Fox, but you see a lot of issues in the film industry when one person owns something and the other one owns something, even if they decide to work together on one thing. You will not see big names in certain things merge together in the future all the time. That's why we won't get a lot of the movies that we deserve, like Hulk versus Wolverine, and all these different, like, really cool comic books and ideas. You even see it being mentioned in the Deadpool movies a lot for humor effect. And it's just a shame that's where it's at in the film industry, because they would make killing in the box office.
You know what movie crossover I want?
What's that?
Frozen 2, starring the Incredible Hulk.
No.
I don't know what's scarier, the idea that, like, I would probably watch that or Hulk in a dress. That's...
Do you want to build the Incredible Snowman?
They say don't eat yellow snow, but what does the green mean?
Not good. Not good things.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
That's some grade A gamma radiation.
What were your opinions on it, Meow?
Just about the same, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like with Disney Plus, we're gonna see a lot of things from, like, for example, I've discussed this since the first episode, well, the second episode of the VS podcast. We have Daredevil, you have Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, Punisher, all the Marvel stuff that was on Netflix that got canceled. We're gonna see that probably go to Hulu, since Disney has this Disney Plus Hulu idea, depending on what rating they want to give it or what they think fits best. I think what I read last was it's going to be a couple years before we find out, but it most likely will go to Hulu.
You know, I use both Hulu and Netflix, and I'm okay if they want to put it on Hulu. Honestly, I've been more I've been doing a lot more of my binging lately on Hulu rather than Netflix. And I'm not ashamed to say it. Sorry, all of you who like Netflix, but you're wrong. Not entirely.
Does
but...
either of them have The Last Airbender? I know Netflix doesn't. Does Hulu?
Oh, I would have to check. I think they have The Legend of Korra.
I forgive you for being wrong, by the way. It's okay.
Okay, thank you. Listen, the reason why I've been on Hulu so much is because they have Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and that is the best show.
I have not watched a full episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Sorry to interrupt you, but I seen. Sometimes I'll have an episode of TV in the background, and my TV was on TBS for whatever reason. Normally it's on True TV because Impractical Jokers is a great show and it makes me laugh. But Brooklyn Nine-Nine, from not hearing it but seeing it, it looks entertaining.
It's definitely a good show. If you like sitcoms and comedy with that kind of like little suspense theme, they really leave you off on a couple of cliffhangers. So
yeah, I definitely want to watch it one day.
I've been stuck. Like, thankfully, I was able to binge it all, and now I have nothing left to watch on. But I stayed up a couple of nights up until like 2 a.m. just watching the show because I'm compulsive and I just can't stop.
Well, you know, I never completely finished The Office because watching Netflix or Hulu on the phone, listen, watching Netflix or Hulu on the phone is just more painful, and I don't get a full experience on the phone compared to watching something on the TV.
You can watch it on your laptop.
I want to wait till I get moved.
I have never seen a single episode of The Office. Fun fact. I'm a rare specimen.
How dare you?
I watched half of one, and I absolutely did not like it. I'm not afraid to say that. I'm not afraid to say that on stream. You can at me if you want, but
I am completely heartbroken.
I'm so sorry. I mean, we all have valid opinions. Yours might be wrong, but...
You watched like 5 minutes.
No, I watched like half of one. I watched like 9 minutes into it. 9 minutes into it. Didn't like it.
Did you know what season or episode? You probably don't now, but was it early or later?
Season 1, episode 1.
Okay, well, the thing is, and even I feel this way, I don't think The Office is perfect. There's a lot of uncomfortableness that can happen with The Office. There are some... This is just bad sometimes with The Office. I really enjoy it when it's at its highs, but it does have some lows. I don't remember episode 1 if that fits any of what I just said, but...
And to be fair, the first couple episodes of The Office are just not that great. I'm gonna be honest here. It's just more of them just throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks.
I mean, that's what a lot of people tend to say, but if I can't get into it on season 1, episode 1, I tend not to want to watch it because I feel like I'm forcing myself to. Kind of
Oh, sorry, go on.
No, I was gonna say I view it the same way as books. If I can't read into a first couple of pages, I know I'm not gonna like it.
Sure.
From experience.
For me, when it comes to movies or TV shows, how long I can watch or listen to it until I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm out. For movies, 15 minutes, maybe 30. Depends. I've tapped out within 5 minutes before of a movie, and I don't regret it because I know what I like, and I know that isn't what people like to hear. That, oh, why don't you open yourself to new things? What? I know what I like, and I have plenty of things to watch. So, if I know it doesn't fall into what I like, I'd rather watch something I know I'm gonna like.
See, and I like a couple things I do know I like about it. I have I have respect for it because they don't put that laugh track in there. A lot of shows start doing that after Parks and Rec had like a huge like enjoyment of not doing that because they just let people enjoy it without being forced to laugh at something that's not funny. Like if you take yeah, when you're listening to a laugh track, you're listening to a lot of dead people laugh, and I don't like the thought of that. That's where my mind wanders. If you take out the laugh track out of shows like Two and a Half Men or The Big Bang Theory, it's just not that funny. These shows, for the people who like them, are actually funny. It's real humor. It's real comedy. In my opinion.
That makes a lot of sense.
In my
Makes a lot of sense.
My opinion. But what do I know?
So, what you're saying is the BS podcast should not implement a laugh track.
Only after the things I say. That's the only time.
Wait.
Oh,
It'll be different every time.
Here we go. I'll go on the internet and I'll type in laugh track for you.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
As you do that, X-Men Dark Phoenix, another trailer came out. And the first trailer I watched of Dark Phoenix, it just seemed like a repeat of something we've already seen, just with a different cast and a different timeline.
Oh my god, that's how I felt too.
But this trailer, while you can still see some elements of that, it's not 95% of the trailer. This trailer was mostly just new-ish stuff, more repositioning things a little bit. And if it's gonna be interesting to see the movie. I want to watch it.
Which movie? Because there's been a lot of movies.
X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Okay, continue. Sorry about that. I zoned
out. I'm gonna watch it. I'm very disappointed with Hugh Jackman. He made an emotional withdrawal when he left the X-Men franchise. And he hasn't made that up to me. If he does something with Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds, he'll make it up, but until then, there's an emotional withdrawal there. And for me, like, Hugh Jackman made the X-Men movies pretty important for a while. He pretty much held the franchise on his back for a decade.
What happened to you saying earlier, it's just old people in movies get over it?
Excuse me?
You said the same thing for the Star Wars! You said the same thing for Star Wars! I'm throwing it back at you!
It hasn't been 20 years. It hasn't been 20 years.
No, but I do agree that the series is a lot weaker without Hugh Jackman in it.
I mean, like, I can agree with it.
It's like Pirates of the Caribbean without Johnny Depp. It's nothing without Johnny Depp.
That's right. 100%.
I mean, like, yeah, I can
Iron Man is
see
nothing without Robert Downey Jr.
100%.
Well, no, because then it would just be man. There would be no Iron Man. That man's built like steel.
50%.
Yeah.
Well, that's where the 2.5 Men, well, that's the man, the half man. We figured out what he did with himself.
Trying to think. You mentioned Deadpool and that. Speaking of Deadpool, I know we mentioned crossover earlier. If I don't get a Deadpool and Detective Pikachu crossover, I'm going to be upset.
How much money would Ryan Reynolds get for that, since he'd be doing both roles?
I mean, like, I'd imagine he makes pretty decent money. I don't know, like, how the contracts work and how much he actually makes.
Will he try and kill himself via trying to kill either Deadpool or Detective Pikachu?
I don't think he'll kill himself. Deadpool, years and years, was a film that he wanted to release because he's a huge comic book nerd, believe it or not. And he was like, I have to play this role. He actually even stole the suit that they used for the film because he wanted to take it with him and he didn't want to pay for it. I don't think he's going to kill himself over it, especially with Detective Pikachu. It's just voice acting. He's not actually doing a lot of movement and a lot of scenes, if that makes sense. So,
who would win in that fight? Detective Pikachu or Deadpool?
Oh, Deadpool all the way.
But
Controversial opinion regarding Detective Pikachu. It should have been Danny DeVito.
ooh,
Like, that would have been hilarious, having Pikachu as Danny DeVito.
I have an even more controversial opinion.
Please share.
Adam Sandler. No.
Oh,
but my
No,
mama,
Will Smith.
my mama says I shouldn't shoot lightning bolts.
Not seriously though, I'm not watching Detective Pikachu either.
What? Why not?
Not my kind of movie.
Is it because it's not Ash? I have to ask that. Because that storyline's already been established. It's been done so many times. And I can understand it because they're wanting to try and avoid criticism for goofing up Ash, Misty, and Brock.
Well, to be fair, I think they already messed up Ash when it comes to the anime. I don't watch the anime anymore. But when it comes to watching what they've done and how everything looks so much different, and to me it just looks worse. And I know a lot of people don't feel that way, but to me everything just looks worse and lazy. So
I mean, it's revamped for a newer generation. I don't like a lot of the newer things either. Like, I absolutely despise the Teen Titans Go franchise. But I have to keep
Teen Titans Go!
Yeah, but I have to keep in mind that this isn't my childhood. They're doing what works with kids these days.
that's exactly
Well, that's
it.
why children are messed up nowadays.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, from eating Tide Pods to all this stuff. But we've done stupid stuff in our generation, too. We did the Cinnamon Challenge, which can suffocate you.
I would never.
I feel like you have before.
Don't forget the
I
stupid
am a
ice
perfect
bucket.
child. Oh, the Ice Bucket Challenge was so popular for its time.
Oh, boy. Or the Frozen Lake one where they jumped in the lake for, I forget what charity it was for. But you know what I'm talking about, I feel.
Yeah. A lot of people do a lot of stupid stuff.
Oh, I do stupid stuff every day.
I would never do anything wrong. I am a perfect specimen.
That's exactly what a liar would say.
I don't know what you're talking about, mister.
Liar, someone who avoids the truth.
What do you
I
guys say
would
about
never
that?
avoid the truth. I watch R-Truth on television all the time.
Can't believe everything from TV. Just saying, just throwing that out there.
You can't? What?
Yeah, I know. This is like breaking news. This is breaking information. This is top quality stuff here, guys. We're just shutting everything
So who
down.
is going to see X-Men Dark Phoenix?
I probably will.
Me, because I have AMC A-List.
Ooh, fancy.
$20 a month, I could see any movie I want.
That's actually pretty nice.
So you
3 times a week.
very nice. So that would be 12 movies.
In a month. So that's for $20 a month. It's a great deal. Plus, you get
Yeah,
discounts
that
on
makes a lot of
snacks.
sense. Ooh, even better.
Wait, you actually buy the snacks at the movie theater?
Well, because I have AMC, because they're discounted snacks like
Well, I mean,
popcorn.
You can't just be like the rest of the population and sneak in Taco Bell.
Oh yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I sneak in food still, but I mean, I still buy popcorn because you can't sneak in popcorn.
That's
What's your favorite food from Taco Bell?
oh boy.
Chicken quesarito.
Those are pretty good. A veggie I like the veggie powerhouse menu burritos.
I feel like something big just happened.
Sorry, that was my cat.
What did your cat do?
What do you-
Which cat?
The naughty one, and she decided to just knock stuff down. Oh my god, sorry about that.
She's
She's just destructive.
decided you don't get to have time to yourself talking to strangers on the internet. You have to pay attention to me. Me and
Slams.
only me. Yeah, slams. Meowth uses slam. Very effective.
It is very effective. She's very cute, so she makes up for it, but still, it's like, okay, how about not right now?
My favorite food from Taco Bell is cheesy gordita crunches.
Ooh.
I eat 2 of them every time.
You
See,
double fisting those?
Yep.
Just one on each side of the mouth. That's how it's done.
Yes. Yes. and I just consume it all in one bite.
See, it's been the same thing with those with me for like soda. I still go on occasion, and I do it more than soda, but it's something I've been trying to avoid because it's a huge deficit in my bank account if I'm not careful.
That and a healthy life requires no Taco Bell.
You mean everything for a healthy life requires Taco Bell?
Yes.
I mean, like, that's why I get the veggie powerhouse menu burrito.
To be fair, Taco Bell is one of the healthier fast food places.
I don't know, Subway.
Subway, though, I mean, isn't really that healthy compared to Taco Bell? Because, I mean, they use a lot more bread in there.
I mean, like, you just get the lettuce wrap.
Extra mayo.
Jimmy John's,
the things
however,
I get at Taco Bell versus Subway, I know the calories for each because I track my calories every day because I'm losing weight. So I track my calories and don't eat too much or drink too much. And for Taco Bell, 2 cheesy gordita crunches is 1,000 calories. And the meatball sub, because I get a foot long, is 960 calories. So, for me, neither are really more healthy than the other.
If I went on a little bit of a journey, like on my break from recording and doing things before I revamped and started anew, I went on a huge weight loss goal, and one of the main things that helped me out personally was intermittent fasting. Surprisingly. So you'd only allow yourself to eat during certain hours of the day. Like mine was 12 to 4, and I would eat the calories required to be healthy. But after and before that, I couldn't eat anything except water, coffee, and tea.
For me, when it comes to my weight loss journey, I started at 167, and as of this week, I was at like 161. So, for me, the only changes I'm making is just keeping track. Because for me, I don't want to be one of those people that, oh, let me do all this fancy stuff as I try and lose weight. But realistically, once it would be done, I wouldn't continue to do that. So for me, I'm just living life as normal, just being more careful and being like, oh, do I really need this snack? Not really. So I'm just more careful now.
When I started intermittent fasting, until I got my preferred weight goal, I started at 220 pounds, and then I dropped down to 175.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations.
And that's so I always talk about it highly. It helped me a lot. You just got to do a lot of research because if you've had issues with eating disorders in the past, I'd say don't do it because I care about you and I don't want you to do anything negative in your life. But if you have good self-control and want to like push yourself to the limits, there's a huge community dedicated to intermittent fasting.
I would say also before starting any form of diet of that extreme, talk to your dietitian or nutritionist first.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I also agree with that.
Because, you know, what works for you will unfortunately not work for everybody.
That is true. That is wholeheartedly true. I just talk about what has worked for me. I'm not always going to say you should do it.
Oh, yeah, no, of course. I was just putting that out there.
Absolutely. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't coming off like that's the last thing I want to do.
Oh, no, not at all.
Okay, excellent.
All good, all good. So going from intermittent fasting to the Fast and the Furious franchise. For me, Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. I'm not sure how to feel about this movie. I will see it. I will definitely see it. And I like Dwayne Johnson a lot. Because I'm both a wrestling fan and I enjoy him as an actor. But
that's right.
I don't know. It feels like the Fast and Furious franchise is coming to a close.
Yeah, honestly, I'm going to skip out on that one because I've never been a huge fan of the Fast and Furious series.
Once you see the first one, I feel like you get a premise for all the movies. I get it. They're in cars. They drive quickly. Let's just move on somewhere else, in my opinion.
Yes.
I mean, like,
Vium.
don't get me wrong. Like, the main issue I have with the American is that a lot of the movies are fast paced and they have a lot of action because that's what we're used to. It's sad to say. We have short attention spans, and that's why the movies are so quick. I don't mean that in an offensive way. I'm the same exact way. But as a philosophy major, I like to analyze the films that are in front of me. So if they're slower paced and allow me to think, like, what is the director aiming for? What does this represent? What are some hidden themes in this film? That's the best part about going to the movies for me. And when they're so quick paced like that, I don't have time. The director doesn't allow me to have the to do so.
Makes sense. For me, I enjoyed the Fast and Furious franchise as it's moved along. I generally enjoy the movies, but after Paul Walker passed away, it's just been this awkward. Things probably need to wrap up sooner rather than later. And this movie's just kind of extending the franchise out a little bit for not much of a good reason.
Profit, revenue.
Yeah, profit, revenue, all about that cash, dollar.
I will say, I mean, like, I've never really been a big fan of those movies, so I am a little biased in this. But the passing of Paul Walker was sad and tragic, and definitely did play a huge part, I feel, in its downfall.
Well, I'll have you know, the BS podcast does not allow biases, because I myself would never portray a bias on this podcast. I am clearly not biased against Star Wars.
That you're being biased against people with biases.
Dang it!
Yeah,
Busted again.
I caught you in the act. I told you guys, he's a liar. Don't listen to anything this man says. Make sure to hit subscribe to Wesocracy. Just
Wait, what?
Wesocracy, the most honest platform on the planet.
If you're not going to hit him with the truth, at least hit him with the bias.
Hit him with that thumbs up, review, share. You gotta hit me with those buttons. That really hits me in the core.
Yeah, whatever you do, don't hit the like button. It'll tear this man apart. If you want to see Wes cry, hit the like button.
Yes,
it's just gonna
100%.
It's just gonna be 24 hours on loop. You control. Make that a GIF. No, I'm kidding.
Netflix's new live-action series based on The Witcher will launch in the company's fourth quarter. The Witcher is a fantasy series from Polish author. I can't pronounce his name. I'm not going to try and pronounce his name. I am sorry.
Do it. Peer pressure.
Do it.
How the fuck do you do a Z-E-J? How does that even work?
What were the letters? Z-E-J?
Yes.
Zeg.
How would that even go?
Zeg. I think. I'm assuming. Is that his
So
name?
it details the adventures of Gerald, a monster hunter who battles creatures from Slavic lore. The stories were adapted into a popular role-playing game series by the developer CD Projekt Red. For me, I am excited to see how the Witcher series goes. It'll be interesting.
Isn't The Witcher also a video game?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I really have issues with series based on video games. I don't even want to mention the Super Mario Brothers.
Never forget.
Yeah. That's just
You do drugs, you go to hell.
I mean that's all that game is. It's either just a giant theater act, a kid playing with toys, or it's just a giant drug trip. It's got to be one of those three. Spoiler alert, Master Hand is Waluigi, which is why he's not in Smash, nor has a video game. Yeah. I'm calling.
I can't
You're selling
believe you.
Nintendo secrets here.
Yeah, I'm just calling it now. I'm saying it as it is. I'm waiting in Waluigi's taco stand, and until
Wait.
then, I'm waiting.
Oh no, go on.
Oh, and until then, I'm going to continue these conspiracy theories, and I will continue to just shout them out to the world.
So, does that mean neither of you will be consuming The Witcher?
Definitely not.
I probably won't.
Well, I guess I'm also in the minority here. I'm in the minority on Survivor, I'm in the minority on Star Wars, I'm in the minority on all of these movies.
To be fair, I
And
love
shows.
Star Wars. It was part of my wedding.
Really,
Very fair.
that is awesome.
Were the cats involved?
No, I didn't have the cats then.
Oh man, you should have
Shame on
you. Should have
you.
had cats holding lightsabers.
Oh my gosh, that would have been so wholesome. They probably would have
So
tried to eat them.
speaking, yeah, they would. Or they just attack people with them. That'd be entertaining. And then everyone would have to act like they have major injuries because of the lightsaber.
Oh yes, for sure. I mean, it would be terrible if you get stabbed with a lightsaber and you do nothing.
What kind of cats are we? What kind of cats are we talking about here, though?
Just shelter cats.
Okay, so no particular brand.
Mm-mm.
Okay,
I got just a tuxedo kitty and then a tabby.
I respect. More of a dog person. I don't hate cats.
You know, I grew up with dogs, so I get you.
Thank you for not having
So-
a backlash on that. I was like, man, I'm probably going to be like poking the bear with a stick on this opinion here, but
You don't like the same animal as I do? What's wrong with you? Oh,
it's just gonna. Oh, sorry.
This particular animal's better than the other.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah. I can't do that, otherwise I would do that.
I am pro cats over dogs.
But what about all the animals? They deserve all the pets.
No, Wes, you're Team Cow. That's you've established.
am.
Yeah,
you've
let's say.
established-
Bess is my number one, but dogs are not number two.
Hmm.
Poor puppers.
I used to have a pet dog, and it was
I mean-
aggressive towards me for no reason.
I mean, I can understand
So-
that. Cows are delicious.
Excuse you?
Did I stutter?
Oh shit.
Excuse you? Excuse you, motherfucker? Do you want to fight right now?
I mean, I may be a
Like-
pacifist, but I'm not afraid to pass a fist through someone's face. That's.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I will go over to wherever your broke college ass is, and we will fight.
You'll lose.
I probably will, but it's all about the effort.
A for effort.
And D for delicious.
So I assume, before I even begin, I'm going to make a prediction. We're going to be in a 2-to-1 split again with this next movie. I have a
Ooh.
good feeling. Minecraft, the movie, is the story of a teenage girl and her unlikely group of adventurers. After the Ender Dragon sets out on a path of destruction, they must save their beautiful, blocky overworld. Release date, March 4th, 2022. So, if I'm going to use the last movie as a precedence for this, it's a video game adaptation of a movie, so I assume neither of y'all will be a big fan. Am I on target, or am I completely mistaken and once again a liar?
Well, let me just say this. I don't feel like Minecraft is really our demographic anymore. So I feel like it's not a movie meant for us. It's meant for, kids.
I mean, like, sometimes if my friends want to play it, I'll play it. I have played the Telltale, storyline version, because I was kind of curious about it, and it was on sale at the time that I bought it. Are they going to...
Moment of silence for Telltale.
Yeah, R.I.P. Press F to pay
R.I.P.
respect. Press F to pay respects. Just
Yeah, but no,
spamming
I'm
the
not
chat.
saying that Minecraft, the game itself, I'm just saying that now majority of children are the ones who play those games.
Absolutely.
So
Very fair.
I just feel like the movie itself is not going to be meant for us, so of course we're not going to like it.
No offense, Captain Sparkles. Just
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Is he still...
R.I.P. Captain Sparkles.
Oh, well, if we're gonna RIP a Minecraft streamer, it's probably gonna be or player. It's gonna be Sky Does Minecraft.
That's true. He did stop, didn't he?
He stopped. He moved over to music, which I respect him for. I respect.
That's one way to lose all your subscribers.
No, a lot of people understood just because he didn't have the same energy toward he used to.
It's fair.
That makes sense.
I mean, literally all he did was Minecraft, so I don't blame him.
That was the only thing he did on his channel, and not really a whole lot else. And it kind of restricts your creative freedom towards making content that you love to make. If they make it if they make the movie in the lines of the Minecraft story mode, I would consider watching it once I can watch it for free online. But I'm not going to pay money to watch it.
Yar.
You know, I feel like going into this discussion, I was more open towards watching the Minecraft movie, but now that both of you have convinced me, I don't think I have any care to watch this movie, even when it is free.
Oh no!
Did I make you really that mad about the cow thing? No, I'm kidding.
So, I feel like if Mojang wants to blame somebody for not watching Minecraft the movie, blame Evan over here.
Actually,
all his fault.
Mojang has nothing to do with the Minecraft series anymore.
Really?
They kicked him out a long time ago for a lot of controversial topics that he posted towards the LGBTQA community.
Uh-oh.
And it was just a whole skew of poor decisions, and I'm pretty certain they kicked him out. And they actually took Created by Mojang out of the credits and all these things. Yeah. Because,
wow.
In his defense, he kind of left himself open for it, considering that he sold the game to Microsoft. And they could have done that such a long time ago, and they're now doing it because of this issue that they've had.
Well, I mean, it makes sense.
I agree. It makes a lot of sense, and I'm not surprised I'm out of the loop on Minecraft news. This doesn't come as a shock to me. As Court said, not our demographic.
I only know a few things about it just because it's still such a mainstream game.
Yeah, that it is.
It pops up in my Twitter or Facebook feed from time to time.
Makes sense.
The Little Mermaid's production on the film is slated to begin next April, with the studio looking to wrap sometime in August. How do we feel about The Little Mermaid as a live-action movie?
Okay, real talk. I love The Little Mermaid, so I'm pretty excited about this one.
Ariel is my spirit animal.
That's right.
So, if I was to be a Disney princess, I would definitely live in the ocean. Although the Grimm's fairy tale version has a much more PG-13 ending.
R.I.P.
Yeah, I don't know if you know about that. She loses her ability to talk, and she doesn't actually. The Ursula does not give the Little Mermaid legs. She cuts her tail in half, and she has to walk on her mutilated tail the entire film.
Ouchie.
Yeah. And then she ends up exploding into sea foam at one point. And then there was an alternate ending where she could return and be reborn again, but she had to collect souls.
Yeah, just in general, the Grimm's fairy tales are pretty fucked up.
I feel like Disney would have a much different viewpoint if they considered making movies like that.
Yeah.
Just saying. It'd be a lot more fun. I'm excited to kind of see how they do Sebastian the Crab. I'm excited for the music. That's the main reason why I'm probably going to watch it, is because if you put a cheesy Disney song in there, you're darn tootin' I'm going to be watching.
That's right.
So, Evan, I have a question for you related to a Disney movie.
Oh boy.
This is very important. I feel like you're probably going to fuck this question up and make me hate you a little bit more.
Okay, I'm ready to...
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready to think, yes.
In the Aladdin movie, who is the genie?
Will Smith. If you're talking about the live action, it's going to be Will Smith. The genie, however,
I mean, literally, as in the series, not a movie specifically, as in the.
Oh, Robin Williams. Robin Williams will forever hold a very dear place in my heart, actor. And he was the genie when I grew up, and he will forever be the genie in my lifetime.
Did you know that the live action Aladdin movie is going to be the best movie of the year?
Does it mean all time?
I don't know, because if you look at the poster they have, it looks like they're all porn actors in a spoof of the Aladdin movie.
Oh my god!
I'm not joking. Pull it up right now. You're gonna be thinking like, what kind of, like, Pornhub search is this?
You are right. That's hilarious about that. Oh my god.
That's fantastic.
That's what it
That's
looks
why
like.
it's going to be movie of the year.
Yeah,
They're taking a new twist with it.
absolutely.
Oh no.
But no, where I was going with that.
It's gonna be Disney awakening people's sexuality.
Makes sense. But where I was going with that is Aladdin is the genie.
Oh, I got your joke.
Aladdin, yeah, I don't get it.
I don't know what joke
It
we're
just
talking about. This
flew
is
over my
dead
head.
serious. Aladdin is the genie.
Yep, Aladdin's genie.
Yeah, that one flies right over my head. I don't know what you mean by
I mean that literally. Aladdin is the genie.
Okay. Is it because he makes...
So-
Oh, wait, I get it. It's because he makes the genie's wish come true. He's the real magic in the movie.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
This is just gonna be me for the podcast over analyzing what you mean by it.
My literal definition is Aladdin is the genie. But, you know, you hit it on the head too.
There
You
we
gave
go.
a reason why.
Absolutely.
So, as long as we agree, then we're good. So, Warner Bros. Is reportedly moving on with a Tomb Raider sequel, bringing back the Alicia girl from the first
Ugh,
reboot of the Tomb Raider movie.
no.
I liked the Tomb Raider movie more than most people apparently did. Like, I recognize Angelina Jolie did a better job,
Jolie, 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 Jolie.
but I want to see where they go with this.
I don't know. It's just one of those things, again, based on a video game. I didn't like the first one, didn't like the second one, I'm probably not going to like the other ones.
Is Tomb Raider based? Was the first movie out before the first video game? They have to be closely tied.
I played the video game first, so to me it's based on a video game.
Personally, I feel like the movie's not anything that Angelina Jolie, but that's just me.
I can see why you'd say that.
I mean, she's pretty. I might watch it because of that. I'm not being, like, sexist, but...
No, I'm just saying that she's a great actress for it.
Absolutely. She plays her roles perfectly, but the way my grandma stated it is she says, I only watch the Avengers because I like eye candy.
Makes sense.
So
Makes sense.
I should have the ability to have a similar opinion. I like eye candy.
Well, yeah, of course. That's part of it, you know?
Absolutely.
The Incredible Hulk is the definition of eye candy.
Oh, don't even get me started on the Incredibles. No, I'm kidding.
Oh no.
Oh god.
Unless the girl.
Oh boy.
Netflix is experimenting on Android devices with a random episode feature. My initial reaction to them potentially doing a random episode feature, I don't think there's any TV show I watch besides like Impractical Jokers or something that isn't episodic in any way, shape, or form that I'd want to press a random episode button on.
I don't know. I haven't heard about this one. I don't think I read up on it. So I really don't have much of an opinion on it. As long as it doesn't like interrupt what I'm currently binging at like a crucial point in the storyline, we'll be okay.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, as long as it's like an option for it, it doesn't like force you to do it, I'm all about it.
Makes sense. So, are any of us Game of Thrones fans?
No.
You know, I have not seen the series, and I really want to.
I am a rare specimen that doesn't who hasn't watched the series, has no intention of watching the series, and the main reason because of that is because I like the look of people's faces of utter disappointment when I say I have not watched Game of Thrones.
Okay, see, to me, that's a bit lame, you know? It's like the people who say they don't watch Star Wars. It's like you're not watching you haven't seen Star Wars just because you're being pretentious about it.
No, I'm doing it because I like being sadistic.
No, that's what I mean, though. I mean,
I don't know. I tried watching one and it was just boring. And I'm like, I get it. There's dragons, there's a storyline, there's a princess, but Shrek has all the same things. Minus the incest.
Very true. Very true. Well, technically, do you really know much about the ogre family tree? I mean, how many ogres really are there?
Are we talking about Shrek or
we're
Game
talking
of
about
Thrones?
Shreks.
Yes,
Okay.
we're talking about Shrek.
There's a lot
Are
of
Shrek and Fiona actually related before they knew each other? I mean, how many ogres are there?
They are not related because you got to keep in mind that she was born of royal family, wasn't always ogre cursed.
Did we see her come out of the womb? She could have been adopted.
Listen, Disney is only willing to go so far go a vagina. And that's as graphic as that statement is, I feel that's the truth. They haven't hit that low yet.
Well, good thing my Games of Thrones related topic has nothing to do with the first episode. I was just going to discuss the first episode if any of us, or all of us, watched it, but since nobody has, we won't talk about it. But Game of Thrones opened to massive ratings on Sunday night. According to figures released by HBO, the Season 8 premiere drew 17.4 million viewers across all platforms, linear, HBO Go, and HBO Now, including 11.8 million who watched on the actual HBO channel. And that is only those who watched Sunday night. Expect the total viewers to go up considerably once delayed viewing is factored into the final numbers. The Season 7 premiere, by comparison, averaged 16.1 million total viewers, including 10.1 who watched on the actual channel, and the rest coming from DVR and streaming. That also beats the previous series high of 16.9 million multi-platform viewers for the Season 7 finale. The analytics has determined the people pirated the show's Season 8 premiere just shy of 55 million times in the first 24 hours. About 76.6% of those viewers relied on bootleg streams, while the rest were split between downloads, public torrents, and private torrents. And just where people pirated the episode may be the most interesting part, though it speaks volumes about the limitations of TV and streaming services. About 10 million of those reviews came from India, where HBO is relatively difficult to access in any format. Another 5 million come from China, which airs only a censored version of Game of Thrones. These viewers either couldn't get the show due to cost or lack of services, or wanted to see the same version that most of the world gets. HBO Now isn't available outside of the US. Unless you have a rough equivalent to it, you're out of luck if you don't subscribe to a pricey TV package. That's not to say the US was absent, of course. Just shy of 4 million viewers came from HBO's home country pirating it. And, finally, the last note of the Game of Thrones topic. A research firm has done a survey with Game of Thrones fans and found that 37% of them are likely to cancel their HBO subscription after the finale this spring. And if the survey is accurate, this could mean millions of people simultaneously canceling their subscription at once. And there's also a large group of the remaining people who aren't sure what they're going to do. That accounts for 33%. What does that button do?
Oh, I was curious. I was like, oh, that's a new button, and it just replaced the notification on my screen.
Very nice. So, the premiere of the last season of Game of Thrones was very popular, both in the pirated community and in actual HBO, hitting record highs. I do feel like they're definitely going to feel the impact. I mean, my household only got HBO again to watch Game of Thrones, and we're going to cancel after it's done. So we're a part of that group.
It makes sense. I feel like a lot of people do that, though.
Yep.
And
I 100% agree with you.
And sorry for the interruption. I didn't think my mic would pick up myself saying that's what that button does.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was a funny ending to my rant. I was done.
Okay, perfect. I don't know. I mean, like, to everybody who watches Game of Thrones, I just have to ask why. Again, I couldn't get into it. And I don't mean that in like a bad way. I just mean like what interests you about it the most. I just don't understand the hype personally. I don't understand the hype about a lot of things. I'm just weird, and I really don't follow a lot of that kind of stuff. Mainly because I don't watch a lot of TV. But I do understand a lot of people probably bootlegging it and not wanting to pay for the HBO.
For me, why I watch Game of Thrones is I find it to be top quality when it comes to shows I watch. I wouldn't say it was the best, like, for me, without spoiling anything about Game of Thrones. The premiere of the last season, I thought was probably in the bottom 10% of all their episodes. I think it was not the episode they needed coming out of a 2-year break. But at the same time, I still enjoy the show, even when it's a bottom 10% episode. It's just, for me, I didn't watch Lord of the Rings. It's 3 movies to tell a complete story, and it's much longer than Star Wars.
See,
So
if I was to probably do anything with the Game of Thrones, I would probably consider reading the book.
The books aren't finished.
Yeah, I know, but I would consider reading the books that are out now. The
books are never going to be finished.
Oh, they're not going to be finished? Oh, well, that's okay.
George R.R. Martin has been doing the last book for the past many years. Like, since the show has been on, he's been working on the book. And somehow hasn't finished the book.
Well,
I don't think that book is ever going to exist.
When it comes to books, though, I would rather an author take because I loved To Kill a Mockingbird. That's one of my all-time favorite books. I know it's so cliche to say, that's so lame to say, that's so neary to say, but it's such a great book for anybody out there in the world of literature who loves to read and hasn't read the book yet. But it took Susan B. Collins
I have a question for you.
several years, almost, I think it was like 50 years, if I remember correctly, to come out with To Set a Watchman, which is still sitting on my shelf. I just haven't had the time to read it due to school and other readings that outweigh it for educational purposes. But
very fair.
But I've heard from reviews that it is a great prequel or a great book that she's come out with.
So how do you kill a mockingbird?
Strange enough, it is not about murdering birds. Yeah.
I feel ripped off.
Did you read that book in school?
I'm sure we went over it in school, but did I actually read the book or try to read the book? No.
In his defense, it is one of the most banned books in the public educational system.
Really? That's surprising.
Yeah, well, it's because of its
Murder
background.
And mockingbirds.
It's because of like racist terms as well as just sensitive information that the world doesn't want to talk about even in a historical context.
I get you. That does make sense.
Kind of like how they banned Catcher in the Rye, which shouldn't be banned just because one person was just like, kill John Lennon. That's not what the book was really saying.
Not at all.
But the main reason why I say books is because I always loved the books more. I couldn't get into The Walking Dead either. Graphic novels had me at the edge of my seat the entire time. The show did not follow, and once they stopped following,
I love The Walking Dead.
I stopped watching.
I love The Walking Dead.
I was just so upset. He should lose his hand. He should have his hand. I was just like, I'm glad I don't watch it anymore because I'd be getting so irritated the entire time.
I only have one comment on The Walking Dead. and it's going to be completely out of context to not spoil anything. But people that watch it will hopefully agree with this. Negan is the good guy.
Everybody's the hero in their own story.
Very fair. Plummeting battery prices to make electric cars cheaper than gas cars in 3 years. Now, before we actually get into this, how do you feel about electric cars right now?
I mean,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, you go first. I went first last time.
Okay, I was gonna say, with electric cars, I feel like they do great in cities or like high density areas. Unfortunately, in rural areas, I don't think that they're as popular as they should be.
See, I would agree with that because there are a few people here in the middle of Missouri that do drive electric cars, but there's only like 1 or 2 charging stations, and it would be about like a 30 to 40-minute drive for those people who would drive them where I'm from. When you get more into the city areas, it probably becomes a little bit easier. They're good on mileage, they're good for the environment, but it's just one of those things that it'll take a long time to actually make it happen.
That I agree with, because it's the same thing here. Like, we only have one, and it's like at a Kohl's in like a random city. And other than that, the next like charging station's in Chicago.
Which is ridiculous.
Absolutely. So, batteries have been getting smaller and cheaper so much faster than expected compared to what the experts had envisioned. They keep having to revise their own projections for electric vehicles every year. Because EVs are already superior to gasoline cars in many key aspects. They have faster acceleration, much lower maintenance cost, zero tailpipe emissions,
Hey, Wes, you
much
cut out.
lower.
You cut out there.
You're still cutting out.
Where did I leave off at then? The whole thing?
They were you cut out at the biggest part on batteries have been getting smaller and smaller years.
Yeah, batteries are getting smaller and cheaper. Electric cars are superior to gasoline because they have a faster acceleration, much lower maintenance costs, zero tailpipe emissions, and a much lower per mile fueling cost than their opponents, even when running on carbon-free fuel. And as battery performance and price improve, EVs are getting longer and longer ranges, some as much as 500 miles, and the charging time is dropping rapidly. Already super fast chargers can charge an EV in as little as 20 minutes, and new chargers can cut that time in half. Next generation batteries may be chargeable in 3 to 5 minutes.
That's crazy.
I mean, it's a good improvement, but once again, those cars aren't going to come out for a long time to the general populace due to the fact that there's just not a lot of charging stations, and it's something that I feel the oil and gasoline industries will not be happy of because of a decrease in revenue and profit for them.
And the other thing you have to think about too, though, is that there isn't a safe way to dispose those batteries once they're bad.
Very fair.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I could really add. I mean, like, I don't drive a battery-powered car. I mean, an electric car. My car does have a battery. Otherwise, it'd just be stationary 24/7. But not really great for a car. But I just can't really think of a lot more. I can't think of a big opinion on them that I have.
I can't say I drive, so...
Not yet, you don't.
I mean, work sells
not
them,
ever.
but that's about
Not
as far as
ever.
I go.
Everybody has to start somewhere, Wes.
Nope.
No, you refuse?
Yep.
You're just gonna drive the cow everywhere.
Yep. For me, when it comes to cars, I mean, everything has a risk factor into it, and for driving, that risk factor is just not something I'm willing to do.
I mean, like, you can't avoid risks your entire life, though.
Yeah.
Absolutely not, but I can avoid myself doing a risk like that.
I mean, that's fair. I can't really force you to drive, but
Nope.
it is empowering. The fact that I could run over somebody at any time in my life just fuels me every single day.
Yeah, it's gonna really
And
encourage
that's
him to
how you
drive.
become the winner.
Yeah, I know. That's what wakes me up out of the bed. I'm like, man, I have the power to murder.
Hell yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
That's
Or
how you
am
go
I?
to work
Or am
every
I?
day.
That's the question. Or am I?
You're gonna see your future boss one day, and you're just gonna be like, "This is my moment. This is what I've trained for. This is what I've dreamed about."
Yeah, this is what I visualized entirely since day one.
And then you're gonna go 70 miles an hour at him, and then you're gonna slam on the brakes, and you're gonna stop just a foot away from him and give him a heart attack.
That's a
Yep.
great way to get off the job, though.
No, that's how you assert dominance in the work environment.
Gotcha.
Yes, that's how you insert
I'll have the windows roll down the entire time. I am just over and over. I will not be a beta biatch.
So, this topic, I'm going to go in and say I'm 100% biased in this topic. I'm 1000% biased in this topic. Fuck Facebook. Fuck Facebook. Fuck Facebook. Fuck their millions of Instagram passwords leaking because they were in literal text. Even if that didn't affect me as far as I know. Fuck Facebook. Them and their data. Fuck them. They're the reason I get called all the time. Fuck Facebook.
To be fair, if you enter any information anywhere, it's going to be sold. It doesn't matter where you're at, it's going to be sold.
Selling a minor's phone number, though.
I mean, sure.
If I would have known,
it's shitty.
I wouldn't have.
I mean, like, I don't have anything against Facebook. The only time I use it for family. That's the only time I will use Facebook is for family.
Yep, that's the only reason why I still have my Facebook as well. I mean,
Listen,
I'm not against it. It's just,
I mean, I've taught my grandma how to use Facebook. I refuse anything else.
Very fair. Very fair. I don't use Facebook, but I use Instagram, so I basically use Facebook.
You use Twitter too, don't you?
I do use Twitter.
There we go. Twitter's pretty
Facebook
fun too.
2.0.
Again, we just need the U-twit face. That's
Absolutely. Absolutely, that's what we need. So I think this is going to be interesting, just to see how both of you feel, not fear.
I fear
maybe
every
fear.
waking moment of my life. There is no escape
Okay.
from the sweet embrace of death. I have come one with it.
Hell yeah.
Very fair. So, in 48 states, the smoking age is 18. But in Virginia and Maryland, they are raising the smoking age to 21. How do you feel about the smoking age? Should it be 18? Should it be 21? Should it be higher? What are your thoughts?
Keep it 18. Honestly, because if you make things to where people can't do them and tell them they can't do it, they're only going to have the drive to do it more. If you tell a toddler, don't eat this cake, they're going to want to eat the cake.
Sure, but the cake doesn't give them cancer.
I mean, we don't know that. Everything these days gives you cancer. That was a huge jump, but that's... I mean, like, it's the same thing. It's people's bodies, and it's what they want to do. It can be like, yeah, but we can compare it to alcohol and how the drinking age is 21. But if you raise the drinking age, people are still going to want to do it because it's that adrenaline rush of doing things that you're normally not allowed to do, and that's why people want to do it most of the time. Through my viewpoint.
Sure. I don't disagree with that. I just feel like maybe the smoking age and drinking age should be the same age. Just to make it...
So you're saying bring drinking down to 18?
I'm saying either one. I'm not saying either. I'm just saying, just in general.
Well, in my opinion, if if you're old enough to be enlisted in a draft and be sent to war, even though the draft hasn't existed in years, sign up for it and provide your information in the instance of it, you should be able to do a lot more. You should have more freedom over what you do and your experiences. Again,
100%.
it's the individual's choice, and it's just one of those things that I believe that everybody has the right to freedom, and I believe everybody has the right to their truest choices. We are not in a true democracy. We're in a republic democracy, I think it is. So there's like,
It could be worse. We could be North Korea, where the re-election is okay. You're pretty much required to show up, and your option is yes. And if you disagree with this, you can go walk up to those armed officers and ask for a pencil.
yeah, I mean, like
But congratulations, Kim Jong-un.
I mean, like they definitely have less freedom than we do, which is sad. But we can't really enforce what we do here because it would just be such a drastic change to a lot of people there who have lived their lives like that their entire lifetime. So a lot of people wouldn't know how to handle it. It'd be a confusing system, and it would just screw up their way of life. As much as I hate saying that, and of course we're going to feel that our system works the best, but we've been raised to think that way because that's how our entire lives have been.
So, my opinion on the smoking age. I think the smoking age should be raised, but not to 21.
Okay, what do you think you should raise to then?
I'm vaping right now in the midst of this conversation.
You know what's kind of crazy though is that I'm old and I listen to NPR.
Oh, I know. I'm 21 and I like NPR. So
okay,
don't feel too old. Don't feel too old.
But it's kind of crazy because I heard this the story on there, and basically what they're saying is that with smoking within the next 20 years, vaping and e-cigarettes is going to be above traditional smoking, mostly because the people are just dying off from regular smoking.
Well, I don't view. I mean, like, do I feel that vaping is good for me? No.
No.
But no, I know. But I mean, like, I would prefer it over smoking cigarettes and cigars and tobacco. It's not actually, people always think, oh, it's nicotine. Nicotine is what gives you cancer. It's actually not the nicotine that gives the cancer. There are a lot of, there's a certain chemical compound that's released when you ignite the tobacco plant that causes the cancer. It's the tar and that chemical from the tobacco plant. The nicotine itself is actually in the same chemical compound group found within caffeine. And as someone that's had both a caffeine rush and a nicotine rush, it is very much the same feeling, just on a different scale and level.
So what you're saying is, I'm fucked.
It's not gonna. I don't think vaping will give me cancer, but it's not the best for my health. The way I view it is, I gave up a lot of sugar and a lot of other bad things, and I'm like, I want to give myself one stress reliever in life. And marijuana is not legal. I've smoked it in the past. I'm not afraid to admit it. If it was legalized, that's what I would do. But it's just I stopped a long time ago, and I haven't done it for quite a long time. But I feel that if it was legalized, I would stop smoking vapes and move over to the Mary Jane.
Well,
bruh.
When it comes to this.
Oh, sorry. Continue.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say not to change your guys' opinions on me or anything. It's not like the movies make it. It's just a really strong relaxer, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I think the smoking age should be raised to up until you officially retire.
Really?
I'm mostly joking when I say that.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to go with.
I was going to say, okay, so now you got to support this opinion, though.
Okay, I will. You know why?
Why?
Because I want you at your peak physical condition with no excuses while you're working.
See, but you can make excuses even if you don't smoke.
You have to say that doesn't.
Well, that's
really
why
have-
I'm also gonna raise the drinking until you retire.
See, but I can make excuses without smoking or
And
drinking.
gaming, and movies, and TV shows.
So what you're saying is that you want us to be sad.
You want to?
I mean, I'll let
No,
you have the
he's
cats.
enforcing the scariest thing that any leader can do, leaving us alone with our thoughts.
Oh,
That's
no.
it.
No, I'll let you have the cats.
Oh, great! So the
You can have the
cats get to
cats.
hear my thoughts.
Yeah.
You think
Yeah.
the kitties want to deal with that?
I talk to myself out loud all the time when I'm by myself. Do you really think I want a dog to hear that?
Yes.
Let's say the cat judges me enough. I don't need the extra sass from her.
Or her destroying more stuff.
She's so funny. She's just like, "Hey, you're doing something. Let me just stomp around," then walks out the room.
How dare you not pay attention to me at all times?
She's
Smash,
like,
smash.
she's like, I want you to rub my belly, but then I want to bite your hand really hard, and I want you to keep rubbing my belly while I bite your hand.
Yes. Why would you not comply with these obviously friendly gestures from the cat?
Of course.
So wait, do you get happy when your cat brings you dead things, or are you like really upset? Because that's supposed to be a sign of love.
See, my cat.
Well, that's how the cat earns a salary.
Okay, so my cat has never brought anything dead to me. The most I've gotten was like a live centipede on my lap. It was disgusting.
Like, I
Ooh.
hunted this, I want to give it to you, now eat it.
Basically, they're just like, "Hey, look what I got you, Mom." Drops in lap. It's like, oh.
How dare you, cat?
Oh, and I guess they also like bring me crickets, so I guess that's kind of love.
You should give them all the praise and all the pats on the head that
They get all the praise and all the pats, trust me.
Okay, as long as you're treating them right with the love that they deserve,
Of course,
I'm happy.
little fluffer butts.
So, speaking of age restrictions, and I suppose I'm gonna have to stay on my until you retire side.
You better, because we're
for
going to call
this.
you out if you don't.
An age check scheme designed to stop under 18s viewing pornography websites will come into force on July 15th in the UK. And if they fail to comply, they will face being blocked by internet service providers. So, my standpoint, based on the last topic, is you cannot consume any of this, regardless of if you're over 18, until you retire. That's also a distraction. So,
I can honestly agree with that. I'm a Christian boy. I don't agree with pornography or the message that it sells.
You know,
very fair.
I mean,
Not to bring religion into it, but it's just there's been a lot of studies that show that you have the same chemical reaction of watching it as you do when you do drugs.
my biggest thing is that, I mean, children that age typically are going to, take care of business one way or another.
Absolutely.
So, whether they're watching
Puberty.
pornography or not, I mean, they're gonna do this.
Let's face it. I mean, like, everybody at one point in their life has porn. You cannot say you haven't, because you're most likely lying.
Of course, yeah.
I mean,
I
there-
don't disagree.
There are a lot of countries, however, out there that actually do not watch porn. And I believe that, and that's because here in America, sex sells. You see it. You see over-sexualized movies, commercials, products, and there's a lot of countries too that women don't wear shirts because it's not viewed as sexualized. It's viewed as natural. It's not a fetish or a kink or a turn on.
Well, you see, in my evil dictatorship, children will be working by the time they can talk and walk. So,
Ooh, so those child labor laws don't exist in your country. All right.
Actually, I had a funny joke about that. So there's a strip club near like where I'm from, and it's called the Uranus Fudge Factory. And their gimmick there is they actually make homemade fudge. Supposedly, it's like the best fudge in Missouri. I haven't tried it, so I can't give you a valid opinion. I refuse to try it, but they decided to make it like a huge family place, which is hilarious. So you go outside and there's these swing sets and slides and a couple of rides. And of course, my mind just races. Now the kids have somewhere to play while mom makes a living.
Oh my gosh, so that's really funny because next to the strip club where I live, there's a Dairy Queen.
Oh boy. See, I have nothing against strippers. I get it. It's people's choice. It's their career. If they're more confident ultimately than I am, because I wouldn't want to do it. I don't think I could do it. And they're people too. I respect it because once again, sex sells. But I just, why make that a family location?
Exactly.
I don't know where any strip club is.
It's, oh boy, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna call you out on that.
I really don't.
Okay,
But
I'll believe
you gotta
you.
think about it. I don't drive.
Oh, that's true.
I don't go places.
That is true. Okay, I'll take your word on it then. But here's another
Yeah,
thing. But if you want to, here was one of the ads a long time ago for their location, and they decided to do a little segment there that would draw in the attention of the soldier close to a military base, and the radio was Extreme Midget Wrestling.
Oh yeah.
It's not just midgets fighting, it's extreme.
It's
Like,
extreme.
it goes from 0 to 100 really quick, and I never really been to a strip club, but I feel if I were to, I'd want to watch midgets just deck each other for my entertainment.
That
Through the table
sounds
into penetration.
hilarious. I love it.
That's the future.
Yeah, it was just an announcer going, "Extreme midget wrestling, wrestling, wrestling." Sponsored by Uranus Fudge Factory.
That sounds like a place I'd be in the Dead Rising series.
We'll see, and all the billboards say, "Come and try it at Uranus."
Oof.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
they tried to come out with a newspaper, and they called it the Uranus Explorer. Yeah, didn't really. They only got like 1 or 2 papers out, supposedly, and then it got like shut down quickly due to public ridicule for some odd reason. For some
I don't know
odd reason, I don't know.
So, my final topic I have lined up for us. Are you both ready for this?
I don't know.
It better like make me jump out of my seat.
Neither of you have played this game before. I started it a couple episodes back. I am going to make both of you have the power of judge and jury, and you get to decide the punishment of these awful criminals.
Okay,
Are you both ready?
throw it at me.
Do it.
Our first criminal scum, a former student of the College of St. Rose in Albany, New York, apparently made video recordings of himself inserting a malicious USB device. Probably not what you thought I was going with inserting.
No,
But-
yeah, you say insert, and my mind races.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one who thought that.
Well, we're being honest here. It's a podcast. We're not allowed to lie for public entertainment. We gotta be as truthful as possible.
So, inserted the malicious USB device into the computers
Is this like
and said,
code for something?
I'm going to kill this guy, as the PCs were overloaded and permanently ruined. This went on a spree of inserting the USB killer device into 66 of St. Rose's computers around various locations on campus. What do you think the punishment should be of frying and ruining 66 computers forever?
It sounds like someone needs to replace 66 computers.
Well, it was also, you gotta keep in mind the message with it too was he intended to kill, and that's legally that's like an attempt at manslaughter, more or less. So
Life in prison.
maybe
wait,
not.
but he killed a computer though. He didn't like try to kill a person.
But the message said
But he killed 66 computers.
that's
Sure.
equivalent to a person. Wait, how expensive are the computers?
No idea.
Okay,
It
is
doesn't
this-
matter the expense though.
is
I mean,
this-
I don't think it's manslaughter. I think if anything, it's destruction of property.
Well, because see, you can get sent to jail through death threats via text or Facebook Messenger or Snapchat, and they've even made it to where you can even do the same thing if emojis are implied a certain way.
Sure, but I don't think it's a death threat, though. I mean, kill, and then he literally killed the computer, so I mean...
Well, it said person.
Oh.
I'm gonna kill this person. Is this based on a true story, or is this just made up?
Yeah.
This is a real occurrence.
Real occurrence. I would say that he would have a pretty hefty fine. And
Definitely hefty fine, maybe some community service.
I would say probably send them to jail is what people would do.
How long?
Oof. I would say probably about anywhere between 5 and 10 years.
Yeah, I
Is
would
that
say
both
that
of
too.
your final answers?
Yeah,
Final
5 to 10
answer.
years.
Final answer.
All
Buzz
right.
it in.
So, the actual punishment of this guy, he faces up to 10 years in prison with up to 30 years of supervision after release, and a fine totaling up to $250,000. He was arrested and taken into custody in North Carolina.
So we weren't that far off, Meow. That's good.
Woohoo!
I should
Just not as big of a fine.
Yeah. Oh, I said hefty. And that's a pretty
Hefty.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a very, very strong garbage bag. So
About to say,
I probably-
250,000 for computers is pretty accurate, though. For school computers.
no, I was gonna say on school property though. Especially with all the school shootings going around these days. And school attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Are we ready for our second criminal scum?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Our second criminal scum, a Florida man who was 71 years old, squirted his bodily fluids several times at a woman who was walking her dog in the neighborhood around 9:30 p.m. Keep in mind, he did this with a water gun, not whipping it out.
I was gonna say what kind
What?
of body excrement?
Urine.
Okay.
That would still count as sexual assault, technically.
So, what do both of you feel his punishment should be?
Well, is it sexual? Is it sexual? Like, was he saying sexual thing?
Maybe not sexual assault. What is it? Where attempted
me-
murder. That's what I'm thinking of.
Well, I don't.
No, but I mean, it's literally attacking someone with the intent to harm them. I think it counts as that.
Well, I mean,
don't
like
remember.
pee really isn't drastic. To
No,
your,
but,
like,
but no. It's a hazard. It's a bodily hazard, though.
you obviously haven't watched Bear Grylls.
No, but I'm just saying,
No,
just
I'm
in
kidding, I'm
general,
kidding.
it's considered like a hazard.
Probably like public indecency. I that's what I would probably describe it as.
I would say jail time and a hefty fine for damages.
Probably like a traumatic. Like she would probably like claim like it traumatized her, which I feel like
I mean,
being
it would
soaked in-
traumatize me if someone.
Yeah, no. I'm saying, I was getting ready to say being so. Regardless of whether you're a man, woman, or non-gender specific, but
Or child.
or child,
Oh
yeah.
no!
I would say he probably got 2 years in prison.
I'm gonna go with 5 to 10.
Well,
And
I
wait,
think the key here,
I was gonna say, and a $10,000 fine. $10,000.
final answers.
Final answer.
Yep.
Alright, so I think the thing to keep in mind is this happened in Florida.
Of
So,
course it
his
did.
Of
punishment
course.
was
What else would happen in Florida?
he was arrested on battery charges, but has since been released from custody on $500 bond.
$500. That's it.
Man.
Yep.
She got squirted with pee.
Well, I mean, like I feel
Now-
like it would have been more if he did whip. Then it would be categorized as sexual assault because that's a kink for some people, and you know,
He still squirted with pee, though. I mean, come on.
I mean, like
I have
some
a question
peeps-
for both of you.
Okay. No, I don't want to
Do
get
you
peed on.
think...
now,
Now, if he would have whipped his unit out and did this, he'd be on the sex offenders list for the rest of his life.
Oh, absolutely.
I still think he should
But
be.
do you think doing it with a water gun, he should still be put on the sex offenders list?
It's not really at that point if it's through a super soaker, and that's not code. That's not code for penis. But if it's through a super soaker, I don't really think it categorizes as sexual assault unless you're throwing out certain terms and phrases whilst doing it.
I think it has to do with intent, though. I mean, he literally squirted up his pee. I mean, he might as well peed on her.
I mean,
It's not an easy topic, though.
it's not, and I guess it kind of define like it. I guess it's like how you feel about it in the moment.
Yes.
Sorry, my phone vibrated.
Unacceptable. Unprofessional.
How rude.
It's just my what is it? It's my
Do you want to build a snowman?
But I don't really think it categorizes as sexual unless he whips out the schlong. That's the only thing I could think of it being sexual assault. And that's a valid term for penis, by the way.
Yes.
Schlong.
Or super soaker.
Oh,
Or
no.
yeah.
Very relevant in this case. So I guess a question to ask as a follow-up to this. Do you think this was planned out super in advance? Like, did he have it ready and it was cold? Or was it like right before he found her and it was hot?
I think it would go with like it was planned. I mean, it takes a lot to fill a super soaker.
I don't know. He could just have a really big bladder. See, now how it could be categorized as sexual assault is if he looked her in the eye, peed in it, and then sprayed her. Then I would say it's sexual assault. Because peeing in public is public indecency, and a lot of people who make bars next to a public playground, the drunk people go and pee there, then they're on the sex offenders list. Peeing in a super soaker on the sidewalk is going to be categorized as sexual assault.
See, how is it still not okay then? How is it not sexual assault for squirting her with a pee gun?
Because he didn't whip it out in front of her.
Okay, but still, like it's still the intent behind it, though.
No, because
Okay,
I don't know. It's only sex.
No. So he pees in the super soaker in public, then it's sexual assault. But no, if he does it, it's not. No, that's where it doesn't make sense to me.
Does the article state whether or not he had a bone?
Oh my god.
Does the article? No. So it wasn't a fetish.
Oh, no.
So it's not sexual assault in my eyes.
We're arguing about pee soakers.
Yeah.
Okay, so since y'all are tied on this, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending how you look at it, who you are, I do agree with one of you.
Who do you agree with?
Who do you agree with? We're not gonna hate you.
I agree more with Court.
Damn.
Just because he didn't actually whip it out in front of her doesn't mean there wasn't intent behind it.
So you think it was sexual assault?
And I'd put him on the sex offenders list.
Gotcha. I mean, I respect that. That's just my logic of looking.
No, of course, there's no wrong answer here.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I love these types
course.
of conversations. Make the conversation more fun.
Hmm.
So, are we ready for our final criminal scum?
I don't know.
So, we've started off with a rather PC killing person. Then we had the P person. But our final criminal scum, a Michigan man, is seeking more than $86,000 from his parents in civil court for allegedly throwing out his large pornographic collection. According to the documents, his parents told him they destroyed his porn. The man tried to press charges on his parents by calling the Ottawa County Sheriff's Police Office, but the prosecutor's office did not pursue the case. According to the lawsuit, the man began emailing his parents. If you had a problem with my belongings, you should have stated that at the time, and I would have gone elsewhere, the email allegedly read. Instead, you chose to keep quiet and behave vindictively. According to the lawsuit, his father responded, "Believe it or not, one reason for why I destroyed your porn was for your own mental and emotional health. I would have done the same if I had found a kilo of crack cocaine. Someday, I hope you will understand." Now, this is multi-layered. Because one, you have to think about, would you consider any of these people a criminal scum? And what would you punish any of them with?
So,
Okay.
how much was the amount that he was suing for again?
$86,000.
Okay, first of all, who owns $86,000 worth of porn?
It wasn't $86,000 worth of porn, it was $23,000 worth of porn.
That's still
And
ridiculous.
the rest is, I guess, trauma.
Does he not understand that the internet exists for a reason? You can get all of it probably again for free. You chose to leave it at your parents' house. Parents not guilty.
See, I would
Would
go
you
with
convict him of a crime?
Wait, say that again?
Would you convict the person suing his parents of anything?
Well, I don't really think it's worth of conviction, but it's definitely worth of a countersue. But I don't really feel that his parents would. Because he said, I did it for your own mental health and stability, meaning that he really cares for him, and he cares so much that he wouldn't do it again, or that he wouldn't put him through that. That makes sense.
See, I'm gonna go against the grain here and say that everyone sucks here. He sucks because it's his property and he should be the one taking care of it. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna assume that he doesn't live at home. So, I mean, if he doesn't live at home, he should definitely not be leaving stuff like that behind. And
Absolutely.
as much, I mean, I personally don't care for porn, and I'm the same way, being like the internet exists for a reason. But it's still his property if he paid for it, so destroying someone's property, just in general, is not okay. Let's just say it was drugs. In that case, the parents should do the right thing and call the police or call one of those helplines. You know, there's plenty of helplines for various things. Rather than destroying their son's property.
I mean, like, assuming that
Very fair.
if it's been there for like several years, though.
Oh yeah, no, it's been there for several years. I would say the parents need to tell them, like, get your stuff or we're tossing it kind of thing.
At that point, like, how long was it left there for? Does it say?
Yeah, that's a good question.
So the situation
'Cause-
was he had to move back in with his parents for a brief amount of time, and then he left his parents' place again. And as he was moving into his apartment, he didn't immediately get it. It took more time than it should have, but it didn't sound like several years. It just sounded like enough time passed.
I mean, in that case, then, I mean, if they're not giving him a fair enough time, I mean, that's still pretty shitty just to throw someone's belongings away. When you were willing to host them.
I know after a certain amount of time, it becomes classified as abandonment of property.
It depends on the state. Most places are 6 months to a year.
So if it was 6 months to a year, then the parents were probably in a right.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that.
Because then it becomes at their
So,
discretion.
Are we punishing anyone here?
No, I'll do a countersuit because it's a ridiculous lawsuit. It should just be tossed.
Yeah, I don't really see any point for punishment. I feel like the judge would have gotten quite a laugh from it, and nobody would have been found. They wouldn't have found the parents guilty. If anything,
Makes sense.
If anything, at the most, assuming that the judge is an avid porn, they replace the amount.
Now, I'm going to convict one criminal, and I feel like court's really going to agree with this. I'm convicting Evan of intent to eat a cow, life in prison.
I find him guilty.
What? I say not guilty.
Why would you want to eat a cow? That's so rude.
Well, technically, I haven't in such a long time. Due to dietary restrictions, I only eat chicken and fish.
Damn,
However,
then I'm
yeah.
guilty. Dun dun dun!
I can't believe this.
You can't.
I am heartbroken.
You can't act like you've never ate a cheeseburger.
I would never.
Exactly what a liar would say. Yeah, silence. That's silence. That's silence. That silence isn't helping your case, man. Not guilty.
I had a Drake and Josh response to that and calling you a truther, but that didn't help my argument either. Oh my. Well, this has been a very eventful episode of the BS podcast.
It was definitely a hoot and a half. It was about 2 hours and 15 minutes worth.
It was. How do you both feel about this as we come to an end?
I definitely like the opportunity to things and express some opinions that most people tend not to really ask. I found a lot of enjoyment and laughter and some great just moments to laugh. Especially catching up with you, Wes. It's been ages, like I said, since we talked. Courtney, it was an honor to actually get to meet you and meet another one of Wes's friends, who seems like a phenomenal individual.
Yeah, this is great.
You guys almost fought to the death a few times, but
it was out of respect for one another.
Oh yeah, of course, healthy debate.
Oh, absolutely. If you can't talk about things, even I feel like if you could talk about things towards opposing views respectfully and out of the enjoyment and agreement that it's just for laughs and a good time and a great discussion, there's really no hard feelings.
Oh yeah.
It's all in good fun.
Well, after that, I think it's a good place to end it. As you said, we've gone well over the 2 hours I was hoping for. I think we did a great job. I hope everyone listening to this really enjoyed it. Whether you're listening on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, wherever you may be watching, review it, comment, like, share. Sharing is very important. Sharing is caring after all. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. Next week, who knows who the guest will be? Maybe it'll be someone very familiar with us all. We will see. Peace out, guys.
Bye.
Catch you guys later.